glad I caught you before you went home, sir. It is rather important.
And deal with it through the governor. I'm a busy man. I don't have time for direct complaints.
I appreciate that, but there are things happening that, as minister, you should know.
Miss Ferguson, we didn't appoint prison governors just so officers could go over their heads.
Of course, sir. Look, I'm only worried about the prison. Security is a shambles, and the governor doesn't seem to be able to control it.
So?
Well, I have concrete evidence of what the prisoners have been getting away with. Now, it will only reflect on you and the department if it isn't stopped.
No, it better be damn good. I won't have my time wasted on petty mudslinging.
Could I come in tomorrow morning, sir, and then you can see for yourself?
It'll have to be first thing, no later than 8:30. I've got appointments all day.
Right, 8:30 sharp. And thank you, sir. You won't be sorry.
I'd better not be. Good night.
Anyone think he was making gone with the wind too, the amount of footage you got?
I hate to think how it'll turn out.
Is everything all right, Joan?
No, I suppose you heard about Connor's brother. Apart from that, fine. What's he doing here?
Oh, it's good to see you too, Joan.
Joan, organise a meeting between Steve and Julie, will you? I'll be in Anne's office. I'll see you after that.
You are joking.
Sorry?
He's just been dismissed.
Well, that doesn't affect his right to visit a prisoner. He's no different to any other member of the public.
He lied to get the job, and God knows what else while he was here, and now you're giving him special privileges.
He's not getting anything special,
It is
Joan.
past normal visiting hours, unless, of course, it's a matter of personal urgency.
It is.
Exactly. So do it, Joan. Oh, and, by the way, the wedding was lovely. Just thought you'd like to know.
You print one word about me in that thesis of yours, and I'll have you in court so fast you won't know what's hit you.
Oh, there goes chapter 4. Neuroses amongst officers.
You'd better have a damn good reason for this visit, or I'll be filing a report.
We gave you a few days off because you were under a strain and you were showing it. I'm sorry, but circumstances forced us to bring you back in again. Now, you need a break, Joan. You're rubbing everyone up the wrong way. And I'm sorry, but everyone includes me.
Well, thank you for your sympathetic ear.
If only you would relax.
Look, it is this prison that's the problem, and the shoddy way it's run. Hopefully, all that will change in a very short while. I found it in a prisoner's locker, sir. I have no reason not to believe its contents.
This is a photocopy.
Yes, I put the original back. It could come in handy.
Oh,
Well, you'll understand when you read it, sir. I've marked the more interesting passages.
I see, but I don't have time.
Sir, even if you just glance at it, you'll get some idea. If you'll excuse me. Perhaps you could start there.
You can vouch for the authenticity of this diary?
I found it myself, sir, in Nancy McCormick's cell.
McCormick?
She's on remand, murdered her husband.
Ah, yes, I remember it in the papers. What sort of a woman is she?
Oh, she's as trustworthy as anyone in there. Middle class, fairly decent. Quite different to a lot of them.
And quite possibly a murderess.
I'm not trying to whitewash her, sir. But I do believe that we can take anything she says as truth. Of course, you can always have her handwriting verified if you don't trust me.
Oh, I don't think that'll be necessary. What I want to know is why you're here.
I don't understand, sir. I thought that would have been obvious.
I'm not naive, Miss Ferguson. I read your file before you arrived. I want to know what your personal motives are.
Well, sir, I am finding it increasingly difficult to sit back and watch what's going on. Well, first there was the fiasco with Bob Moran, and now this business with Ryan. And there's no telling what embarrassment his thesis will cause the department. And, of course, the rash of escapes we've had lately. Oh, I was dissatisfied before, sir, without reading that. Scotch whiskey and tennis balls thrown over the fence, cocaine being smuggled in. The place is a security disaster area.
You're one of the officers. Surely you're condemning yourself?
If anyone there had listened to me, sir, I would be inclined to agree with you, because I warned them about Ryan and Moran, and I have consistently argued that security be stepped up with extra patrols. With respect, sir, I hardly feel that I can be blamed, even partly.
And who would you blame?
Well, Mrs. Reynolds is a good governor, but...
Oh, don't beat around the bush. Come on, out with it.
All right. Mrs. Reynolds could be a good governor, sir, if she had a strong deputy. And Meg Morris isn't it. She's far too soft.
In what way?
Well, for example, last night she arranged a special after-hours visit just so that Steve Ryan could propose marriage to a prisoner. That for someone who had just discredited and embarrassed the department.
And you obviously feel you're the answer.
I only want what's best for Wentworth. And I believe, sir, that that is with me as Deputy Governor.
And cancel my appointments with Bierman and Davies. I'll have to spend the morning at Wentworth. You on duty this morning?
Yes, sir, in about an hour.
Good. Now, as far as anyone's concerned, this conversation never took place. I'll approach the whole thing as if it were my idea.
I appreciate your trust in me.
Don't make me regret it. You've some blemishes on your record. If you don't get results, I'll use them to make sure you're demoted just as quickly.
There could be a problem with Meg Morris, sir. It's just a warning.
I'll handle those when and if they arise. Been getting a lot of press flack about lack of security lately, and Wentworth's top of the list. If you can help me resolve that situation, your future's going to be very rosy, Miss Ferguson.
Well, I do hope to make governor one day, sir, so I'll be doing my best.
See you do.
Just two more things, sir. The diary. I do feel it's best, perhaps, if we don't mention it to Mrs. Reynolds. While ever it's there to be read, then I can keep ahead of any trouble.
Good thinking. What's the other problem?
You'll notice, sir, amongst the material I've marked in the diary, the name of a prisoner, Egbert, is mentioned several times. Julie Egbert. It's quite clear that she's up to her neck in everything that's going on. Well, her parole hearing is due today. It's quite obvious she doesn't deserve to be paroled. Her name is underlined each time it's mentioned. It's entirely up to you, of course, sir, but I think perhaps a word to the parole board might not go astray. She certainly has pulled the wool over Mrs. Reynolds' eyes.
Hardly a reformed character, is she?
Then you'll speak to the board?
I certainly will. Thank you, Miss Ferguson. I think this is the start of a very fruitful collaboration. Morning, ladies. Mrs. Reynolds is expecting me.
Oh, yes. Good morning, Mr. Dwyer. Will you sign in, please?
Miss Ferguson.
Morning, sir.
We feel that the combination of yourself and Mrs. Morris as governor and deputy is a little soft.
We?
The department and I, myself.
Nothing's been said to me by the head of the department.
All right. I don't like your aggressive attitude, Mrs. Reynolds. I am here to air this matter reasonably. I want Mrs. Morris replaced as deputy. You need stronger support, and I am relying on Miss Ferguson to give it to you.
You are joking.
I don't joke.
The woman's been a constant hindrance. You must have read her file.
I know her record. I also know she has strength.
I won't work with her. It's as simple as that.
Is that a threat?
With respect, I think you're making the wrong decision.
I believe it's worth a try. Things couldn't be any worse. Now, I have to talk to Bob Moran. You go away and think about it. With or without you in the driver's seat, Miss Ferguson is now Deputy Governor of Wentworth. I'm sure you'll all join with me in congratulating your colleague, Joan Ferguson, on her appointment as Deputy Governor.
Mr. Dwyer.
Congratulations, Miss Ferguson.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again, Miss Ferguson. I look forward to seeing the results of your appointment.
Oh, between us, Mrs. Reynolds and I will have this place running like clockwork, won't we, Governor?
I'm sure you'll see improvements.
I'm sure I will. Good day, ladies. Very wise decision, Mrs. Reynolds.
Morning. In my office now. Frankly, I think the worst possible decision's been made. You're a tired woman with emotional problems. You should be taking a rest, not assuming more responsibility.
Oh, come on, don't you think you're overreacting?
Let me finish. I'm not blind. I can see that you've got Dwyer's ear. You're surprised that the announcement didn't fool anyone.
Well, this is getting us off to a great start as a team, isn't it?
We can't work together as a team, and you know it.
Surely that depends.
On what?
On whether you agree with Mr. Dwyer's insistence that things be tightened up around here. They can certainly do with it.
In other words, working as a team means agreeing with you and Dwyer.
It means running things efficiently. You'd better have a good explanation, Jenkins. Haven't you got rounds to do, Mrs. Pringle?
Oh, well, as a matter of fact, I was just... Good heavens, where did you find those?
On Jenkins' feet.
Oh. Oh, well, I better be going.
Couldn't have expected anything else from minds as small as yours. But there won't be a repeat performance of it, I can assure you of that.
Seems to me you're trying to tell us something. Well, go on, you're dying to spit it out.
You're damn right I am. There's going to be a whole new set of rules around here from now on. You're looking at the new Deputy Governor. Now work. Well, when you're finished, I want these put in the confiscation cupboard.
Oh, come on, they're hardly contraband.
Broken combs are potential weapons and are not allowed. If you had read your rule book, you would know that. But, of course, you and Reynolds threw the rule book out some time ago, didn't you? Round about the time our problems started.
And which rule bans hair shampoo?
26B, subsection 1, theft of a prisoner's property. Kennedy had 2 bottles. One's obviously stolen.
Or traded.
We'll let the investigation decide that. In the meantime, there are 3 more work areas to be checked.
You're playing a very dangerous game, Joan.
I'm sure you and Reynolds have talked it over. It's only natural.
You know what the women will do if they find out there's an informer amongst them?
Informer? Who said anything about informer?
Damn it, Joan. We are talking about the possibility of one of the women being murdered. Now, surely even you have a conscience.
Well, if you feel so strongly about it, I suggest you contact the minister.
Egbert has a visitor. Steve Brown. Found yourself a friend.
I'm terribly sorry. I did. Well, hello. How nice to see you again.
Likewise. Joan, this is Mary Harris. Albert Ross, Joan Ferguson.
Pleased to meet you.
You remember I was telling you about that character in the pub was going on about women's golf?
Yeah.
Well, Joan, she was the one that went wallop and set him right off.
Well done. And I suppose he bored you silly with his golfing stories as a reward, did he?
Well, not really. No, he was partly responsible for me dusting off the old clubs and having another go at it. But not very well, I'm afraid.
Well, it'll take you a couple of rounds to get your swing going, you know. I tell you what, do you feel like joining us? Make the numbers up.
Yes, we're one short.
Oh, no, I'd only hold you up.
Look, the only thing that'll hold us up is this man deciding whether a green slope's left or right.
Dear, dearie me. Look, why don't we start again from the 10th?
Yeah, suits me. I was 3 strokes behind anyway.
What do you say?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you. There's just one thing, though. I don't suppose you saw where that ball went.
Bad luck.
Yeah, but a well-played hole, though, Joan.
It's a tricky green, this one.
Well, this will make the 3rd par in a row, Joan. That's really good.
You're very lucky to be able to play during the week.
Yeah, it's like Burke Street here on the weekends.
What exactly do you do? To get afternoons off, I mean. Oh, well,
Ah, she's a lady of leisure.
Oh, how lucky. You must join us more often.
Thank you, I'd like to.
Quiet in the gallery.
Oh, yes, certainly, Mr. Nicholas, sir. Albert, it gets dark about 8:30, you know.
Few more games you'll be playing in the state championship.
Competition I can do without.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree with you more. Anyway, here's to the greatest sociable game ever invented by man, eh?
Cheers.
Well, now I'll be off. I've got to go and feed the roses.
Yes, I'd better go too. Lovely meeting you, Joan. I look forward to our next game.
Same here. Bye, Andrew.
Yeah, bye.
I'll have to make a move soon, too.
Oh, is getting on, I suppose. Listen, I've teed up a game with a few other friends tomorrow. I'd love to have you along if you feel like another round.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm on late shift tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you said that you didn't...
I'm sorry. I wasn't quite honest with you. I do work in a prison. I'm the deputy governor there.
Oh, I see. Well, that sounds a pretty responsible job.
Oh, well, it's not very glamorous, but it involves a lot of shift work, so I get time for the golf.
Yes, well, if we only did things for glamour, none of the important work would ever get done, would it? Look, Joan, I didn't mean to pry. If you don't want to
No,
talk
it's all
about
right.
it,
It's just that there's a lot of stress involved, and, well, I prefer to leave that where it belongs, in the workplace.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean. Mind you, if you start getting too many more pars, I might use it as a tactical weapon to throw your game.
Listen, about tomorrow, I just might be able to juggle the rosters and get some time off.
Yeah? That's splendid. Then I'll consider it confirmed, shall I?
And this time I won't be letting it out of my hands.
Good idea.
Though I don't think the culprit would dare to try it again.
Oh, I thought you were showing the video earlier.
We had a slight technical problem.
All right, Miss Ferguson. It's not compulsory.
Oh, all the same, I wouldn't mind popping in for a look later on, if that's all right.
Of course.
It'll make a pleasant change from all the death and destruction we usually see on the television. Governor, look, I might not have very much to do later on. I'll take over those maintenance reports, if you like.
Thank you.
Right.
I regretted striking her the moment it happened. I'd allowed myself to succumb to the philosophy of so many women here, an eye for an eye. I'm also afraid I've contributed to Kath Maxwell becoming more bitter. It all came to a head last night as we were watching the videotape of Mervyn and Joyce's wedding. Rita and Alice tied her to a security gate and covered her with foam from a fire extinguisher. Fortunately, Kath got away before the officers discovered her. Alice and Rita were caught out by Miss Ferguson for spraying the foam, but it was assumed they were just having some harmless fun. I don't condone what happened, but I hope it means the last of this sort of thing.
Oh, if you're looking for me this afternoon, Governor, I won't be here. I'll just swap shifts with Mrs. Pringle.
Fine. Just make sure you don't leave before 10. The Minister's making a special trip out at my request.
Oh, and what's the occasion?
A discussion of your attempts to undermine my running of the prison.
Well, it saves me the effort of writing a report, doesn't it?
And colouring his attitude with half-truths and omissions. Make sure you're there. I want this matter cleared up once and for all.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Mrs. Reynolds...
Sir, if I may say one thing. If I have offended the Governor, then I'm sorry. I know that sometimes I'm guilty of, well, taking my work too seriously, but I have always acted to the very best of my abilities. And I can assure Mrs. Reynolds that I will be working to improve our relationship in the future.
Well, sir. That all right, Mrs. Reynolds? Oh, thanks, Miss Ferguson. That'll be all for now.
Thank you, sir.
I think she's a very capable officer who may say a little more than she should at times, but there we are.
I repeat, she is using her so-called source to undermine my authority.
No. It's the women who are doing that. She's simply telling you about it. Now, if you don't like it, I suggest you tighten up security. Then she'll have nothing to report.
Miss Ferguson lacks judgment. She wanted me to interrogate Maxwell until the woman lagged. She wouldn't last a night after that. The last thing any of us need in here is another murder.
Then stop the trouble before it starts, as Miss Ferguson suggests.
When can I expect the extra staff I requested?
Oh, I'll have to make do with what you've got at the moment. Money's tight.
Minister, it makes it an impossible situation.
Mrs. Reynolds.
Constant interference.
I believe that Miss Ferguson has done an exemplary job as Deputy Governor, and that is the end of it. Good day.
You wanted to see me?
Oh, yes. A small matter I wanted to discuss in private.
And what matter is that?
Well, you're aware of this engagement between my son and this Julie Egbert girl. Well, the whole thing's preposterous. And from what the girl says, you'd agree with me.
Whether I do or not, it's hardly any of my business.
Still, I suspect it wouldn't upset you greatly if the whole thing fell through. Do you have an office or somewhere we could speak privately?
No, I don't. And, as a matter of fact, I'm off duty in a few minutes,
Oh,
so if
good.
you just...
Then we can meet somewhere.
Mrs. Ryan, I couldn't care less if your son wants to ruin his life. As the matter stands, they have another 6 months to wait, so I suggest you just hope he comes to his senses.
Oh, I intend to do more than hope, Miss Ferguson. Perhaps you could ring me later, at your convenience. I have a proposal to make that I think you'll find very interesting.
I'm not sure I'll have any spare time later.
Well, I'll be home all afternoon. Hope to hear from you.
Well, I just keep telling you, dear, I'm just an innocent bystander.
Another one of those. Must be a shortage of criminals. All the innocent bystanders we get in here.
Come on, come on. We haven't got all day.
See that one over there? I've seen her somewhere before. Big one.
Don't you worry about Miss Ferguson. Just get on with it, shall we?
Ferguson.
Right, your turn, Brown.
1.5 dozen golf balls.
I tell you what, it's a good thing that Robin and Carol had to leave as soon as we finished.
Yeah.
Now I've only got a shout for the two of us.
Yeah, well, you gave them a good run for your money, Joan.
Oh, I'm still a long way behind you.
Yeah, but you're closing fast. My water. What will you have, eh?
Scotch and soda. Thank you.
Right, back in the gym.
Mrs. Ryan, Joan Ferguson. It seems as though I will have some free time this afternoon. Where would you like to meet?
Well, when they were bringing us in here, out of the front desk, there was this screw that walked past. Big Sheila, nasty looking. She had to go at Ida about something.
Yeah, that'd be Ferguson, the freak. You'll be seeing a lot more of her, I can tell you.
Well, that's the thing. I have seen her before, but I couldn't think where. Then I remembered. It was outside your place.
My place?
Yeah. Well, she had this funny scarf thing over her, but I recognised her. Face like that you can't hardly forget.
Well, when the hell was this?
The night the shed went up and all the bikes got burned.
You're trying to tell me the freak was there that night?
I didn't think nothing of it at first.
What would she be? The thought never even occurred to me. That fire was just after the boys did over her place.
That's where I heard her name. Some of them were talking about it.
And the Eagles had nothing to do with that fire. It was Ferguson. You know what else it means? That fire started the fight where Slasher was murdered. That bitch murdered him. I don't want either of you two saying anything about this to anyone, you understand?
I won't.
What's you going to do, Reed?
I've got a phone call to make.
Oh, God.
Oh, I really must go, Andrew. Thanks again for the game.
Thank you. Joan, I was thinking if you're not doing anything this evening, would you like to have dinner with me?
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh, that's a pity. It's just that I haven't been to a restaurant for a while, and I find you most enjoyable company.
Well, thank you. Actually, I have another engagement, but I do enjoy our golf.
That's good.
Well, I really must go.
Yeah. Well, to the next round then, eh? I'll probably be popping into the pub later on if you're passing by. Pop in and say hello.
Oh, I don't think I'll have the time, but thanks anyway. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was enjoyable. Did you enjoy it?
Miss Ferguson, good to see you again.
Look, I don't have a great deal of time. Could you get to the point?
You strike me as an extremely capable officer. Professional, diligent.
If that's all you wanted to tell me.
I'm hoping you might prove capable of helping me. I'm prepared to pay handsomely for it.
And what makes you think I'm open to bribery?
What I want you to do is entirely in the public interest. This, Egbert girl, she's going to be released soon. She'll be free to take advantage of people. Decent people. People she has no business associating with.
I see. People like yourself and your son, eh?
Exactly.
And what do you expect me to do about it?
I would like you to arrange for a sentence to be increased by whatever means is necessary.
Is that all? Oh, you're living in a fairyland, Mrs. Ryan. The system doesn't work that way.
I believe it could, with your help.
And why would I want to help you?
Because I'm offering you $10,000, that's why.
Now I could report you for this.
I dare say you could, but I doubt it. My son is hell-bent on marrying a criminal, and I'll do anything to prevent that.
In similar circumstances, I probably feel the same. However, it has nothing to do with me or Wentworth. Goodbye, Mrs. Ryan, and good luck.
Miss Ferguson, the offer still stands. $10,000 is a lot of money for doing what comes naturally.
I tell you what, we'll get a refill, and then we will drink to the future of the dynamic duo of the Dorset Golf Club. Excuse me.
I hope you don't expect me to clean up the mess you left in there.
Yeah, this lot too.
You have to creep up on us like that?
She's still down the pub. Oh, have a drink, why don't you?
Got one?
Hey, what are you looking for?
Porn. I bet she's got it.
Yeah, bit of tight. Hey, we load this stuff into the ute. There's no point wasting it.
Later.
Yeah, we've got time.
Really must be thinking about going home. It's not long till the shift starts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here I've been hogging the conversation. I completely forgot the time.
I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Good night, Joan.
Oh, good night, Lorelei.
Is she a friend of yours?
Well, not quite. More a professional acquaintance.
Oh, she has something to do with the penal system.
The wrong side.
Oh, I'm prying, aren't I? Sorry.
No, not at all. No, it was years ago in Queensland. She's a con woman with enough aliases to fill a country phone book. But she was a friend of someone quite close to me. Shall we go?
Hello? Could you hold on a moment, please? Is there a Joan Ferguson in the room? Joan Ferguson?
Yes. Thank you. Joan Ferguson?
We're holding a wake for Slasher. And it's at your place, freak. You got a nice place here, freak. Everything but an open fire. Oh, we're gonna fix that up right now.
Let her rip sharply.
Do you like a drink?
No.
Joan, please don't misunderstand, but I hope you'll stay here until you make other arrangements.
Thank you.
And if it's a question of money, I'd
No.
like you to...
Thank you, but no.
Well, I suppose it's at least something that we save these few things before the
Before
fire.
everything was completely destroyed, I suppose I should be grateful for vigilant neighbours.
Could you rest?
Could you?
And you haven't any idea who telephoned you?
No.
Oh, well, I dare say between the police and the fire brigade, they'll come up with something. Though it's pretty obvious it's tied in with your job.
You never get away from Wentworth. You walk away from your shift, but you can't afford to let your guard drop. I have to phone a cab.
A cab?
Yeah, I start work at 9:30.
You can't go to work tonight. You're shocked. You need to rest.
I need to be at work, on time and in top form.
That's ludicrous. Surely someone else can do the job.
It's not the job. It's the challenge.
Hello, not like you to be late.
Couldn't get a cab.
Well, Joyce tried calling you, but your phone was disconnected.
Yes, I've reported it.
Is anything wrong?
Why should there be?
Well, I mean, it's unusual for you to be late, and I don't think I've ever known you to arrive out of uniform. I just thought something might be...
What?
Well, wrong.
Huh?
I could start your rounds for you while you're changing, if you like.
I'll do the rounds myself, thank you.
Geez, you really done it. Oh, she made a bloody ton. I do wish you wouldn't. It's only half of what the bitch deserves. Get back.
You all right, Brown?
Oh, yes. I was only talking to myself. You get a bit like that at my age, you know. Oh, pardon me. It's them onions.
Yes, well, good night.
Good night. You're nice, thoughtful young girls. How did I go?
Great. Come on, let's move it. Good one, Arts.
Where you going?
Tell you tomorrow.
You got one for me, will you?
Will do.
Chance to forget it, do I? I'll tell you all the gory details, Lex. You just sing out if someone starts heading our way. Yeah. Now move!
Yes, I'll tell her you called. Of course not. No trouble at all.
All quiet on the Western Front?
Good. Listen, I know what's up with Joan.
Sorry?
Joan. Why she had to get that new uniform?
Oh, why?
A friend of hers just rang and he said her house is burnt down.
Oh, you're joking.
That's what he said.
When?
Tonight, just before she came here.
Oh, it must be some sort of practical joke.
Didn't sound like it.
She wouldn't be here if her house had burnt down.
Well, she did seem pretty uptight.
Has she said anything?
Oh, the guy sounded genuine. He's worried about how she's going and thinks she should be resting.
I agree. I mean, if it is true, she must be feeling terrible. Where is she?
On rounds.
Well, I didn't see her, but if it is true, I'll go and find her. We can always cover for her, can't we?
Fine.
I bet you're wondering what's going to happen, Anne. Can I be the push rate? Down, will you? I don't want the guards catching somewhere up here.
So will they hear the noise you make hitting the ground.
Oh, still, you bitch. I hate you to fall over before we're ready.
What's she saying?
I think she wants us to get on with it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2... Engine screw! You want to play games, do you? Come on, Lex. Drag her back. Okay, let's grab her feet. No more games, Ferguson. Time for the big drop. I think she wants to say goodbye.
Oh, come on,
hold on there. Still got no manners, Lex. That's better. You don't want to die, do you? Do you? And neither did Slasher, you stinking bitch!
Hell, we don't really let her go!
Yeah, well, maybe we should.
Hey?
It's okay, I think she's learned her lesson. Come on, let's drag her back. You're very lucky, Ferguson. This has been too quick, too easy. You see, we're going to let you go. Because you're never going to have another peaceful day as long as you live. You cross me ever again. And I'll let the gang know you fixed it for Slasher. And then wherever you are, they'll find you. You're gonna be dead meat, Ferguson. After they've had their fun. Then they'll kill you. Think about it.
There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Why?
Well, somebody called and said that your house had been burnt down. We didn't know whether to believe it or not.
Yeah, you can believe it.
Oh, no wonder you look so dreadful. Look, would you like to go home? We can arrange... Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry. Have you got somewhere to stay?
Yes, thank you. If you'll excuse me, I've got work to do.
Oh, but you don't look at all well.
Don't be stupid. Oh, there's not a check through there.
Oh, but that's not on your rounds.
No, I thought I heard a noise, but it was nothing.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't find you. Look, why don't you come and have a coffee?
No. Oh, all right, when I finish my rounds.
Oh, that'll help you to relax quite a lot. Oh, dear. What a dreadful thing to have happened.
Did you forget something?
The keys.
Come and get them.
Don't push me, Connors.
Don't you push me! Don't forget the security gate. You don't want anyone finding it open and saying you're slacking on the job. Don't want no names.
Miss Ferguson, you shouldn't be here. Good morning, Governor. I'm fine, really.
You could have fooled me.
Go home after my shift.
It was a double shift to start with. It's too long, especially under the circumstances.
All I need is a short break.
Apart from anything else, you must have things to attend to. Insurance.
I have phoned the insurance company. I'm waiting for them to call me back.
I really should force you to go.
If I say I'm up to working, then I am.
Right. If you change your
I
mind,
won't.
just-
I know you said you had somewhere to stay, but if it's only temporary, Mervyn and I do have a spare room and we...
Oh.
Oh, well, I'm only trying to help.
Why? You all treat me like a neurotic, and then when something like this happens, you're bending over backwards offering help. At least be consistent.
Oh, well, just because we
Be
have...
for me. Ferguson. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for calling back so promptly. Yeah, it's about my fire insurance. Hmm? Oh, I gave the details of the claim to the girl when I called. But your records must be wrong. My premiums are paid up. I didn't let it lapse. No, it was posted a good 6 months ago. You must have received it by now. Oh, I remember clearly. I wrote the check and I got a friend to post it and I... Oh, yes. Yes, I'm still here. I've just realised what must have happened. Look, couldn't your records be wrong? I see. I don't suppose there's anything I can do. Oh, I didn't think so. Thank you.
What is it?
Not covered. I wrote the check. I gave it to Terry to post. Obviously she didn't.
Oh, Joan, I am so sorry.
I thought she'd done all the damage she could.
What does it mean?
I've got nothing. Will you excuse me?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Mrs. Ryan, Joan Ferguson, about your offer. Up it to 12,000 and I'll consider. Don't worry. Egbert's got no hope. You said you've done anything wrong?
What's the problem?
I've heard through my sources that Connors and her gang aren't your favourite people.
So?
They're not mine either. And I have decided that between the two of us, we're going to get rid of them once and for all.